And hello to all my Scorpio friends. I would like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free psychic tarot reading for March 2022. Now today they've dialed up for you a storyline spread. It is a very large spread, a scattershot across all the different Scorpios, and the whole idea is finding the story that's right for you. We're going to be talking about multiple stories, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes even 6 if they're really chatty, and the whole idea is finding the story that's right for you. I've had people say that sometimes multiple stories will resonate with them, and that's okay if it does. You know, there are a lot of congruences between the Scorpios, but at the same time, it's really about finding the one. So we're going to get into that. They've asked that I conclude your reading with the chakra scrub. So this is spiritual health stuff, and it's something that a lot of the signs are getting this month. There's 5 of you guys, so almost half of my audience is getting a chakra scrub. So very important spiritual stuff that they do not want you to miss. It's going to be interesting and perhaps a little lengthy because we got some big spreads to do, lots of cards to pull. So here we go, Scorpio. Let's get started. The cards are already shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save time. I'm going to bring you in right now so you can watch. Go ahead and hit the like button if you're ready to have a great March. And we are on. What I'm doing now are my ritual cuts. Cuts the decks into 3 different pieces and puts them back together in a separate order. That satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. And it's the same procedure for personal private readings. And then they're ready to go. So here we go with the storyline spread for Scorpio. I start the spread with 5 cards and I expand out where I need to go from there. So here's our first 5. I'm going to need more cards than this. And that's my end. Is that all in view? It is. Perfect. Okay, so here's the main thing I want you to see. These are going to be your first or your most important 7 core cards. I got to get the groupings, check the blockages real quick. We don't have enough block to matter, 4 out of the 7, so that's good. Pairings now is what we're doing. We're looking at 4 different stories. It's going to go like this. These are the 4 different stories for my Scorpios. Let's get some more cards and describe them. Now this is where it's going to get a little confusing. It's going to get very big perhaps, and I will move the camera to show you guys kind of more. That's actually good the way it is. Once I get all the cards in, that's when I'll move the camera around. Let you guys see what's going on here. Okay, that's good. Everybody's good now except for I need an angel card for every single story. It just gives us a little extra information. And then we're ready to read it. Okay, so what can we see? What can we not see? This is going to go here. You can see this bottom story very clear. You can see this top one very clear. Now we just got to work on this side here. You move those. All right, so now you can see that top story. And our bottom story. All right, let's get to work, Scorpio. Lots to talk about, lots to do. All right. I'm going to work, kind of just go around kind of counterclockwise here. Work right in front of me first. The good thing about storyline spreads too is that they can kind of talk about anything they want. The floor is wide open. It's not specifically about any certain thing. So one story could be about love, another story could be about work. It's very cool. Very cool how they can do that. All right, so where we begin here in story number 1 for my Scorpios is an inaction with making up your mind. A lot of you are kind of having a hard time figuring this out. They're figuring something out. I'm not exactly sure what, but they're telling me that inspiration is on its way. March is going to be the time for it. It's going to come. It's going to be a light bulb effect, like boom, that inspiration or that aha moment or something like that. They're showing it starts with inaction though right now. So this is coming. It's just a matter of when it comes. I'm not really sure the timeline because we're reading for all of March. So they didn't specifically tell me early March or late March or the middle of March. I'm not sure. But we start with inaction with making up your mind. So if you're having a hard time deciding something right now, it doesn't even matter what it is here. Something that you need to start thinking of new things or new ways to do something. Very much that light bulb effect that I told you. That inspiration is going to come later, so don't rush making up your mind right now. It's actually okay that you haven't made up your mind about whatever this is that they're talking about for you. There is either kids involved here or an emotional maturity that needs to be part of this decision process. So Man, that's a tough one in the context of a general reading, because that can be so many different things for so many different people. But just know that we did bring up kids here, or they brought up kids specifically, and they really want you to consider that in this process. They're saying a lot of you either have not really thought of the kids fully and how this decision perhaps will affect them, or the other definition of that card is that they just need you to show that mature emotional maturity here. So just don't be brought down to other people's level. Be very high road, be very forgiving and thoughtful and kind, all that kind of good stuff. They do show the angel card as spiritual understanding. This is Archangel Raziel coming in, bringing you information, symbols, and helping you understand things here. So that's when that inspiration comes. That's basically them letting you know that this is going to be an angelic data packet or download. This is going to be like, you're getting help here. Long story short, they're helping you out. You're going to get through this. You're going to, one day you're just going to wake up, and whatever it is that you're worrying about here in story one, if this is you at all in story one, you're just going to wake up one day and just know what to do. You're just going to have it all and just kind of feel very good and confident about what you need to do. And then you can just do it. You can just pull the trigger and go. So very good start, story number one. Probably going to be less of my audience, but, I have to give it all to you. Story number two. This is going to be kind of a limited audience too, I believe. They talk about taking great pride in something. Something bad happened to something that you care about quite a bit. So this could be like a friendship falling apart. This could be something bad happening to something physical, like somebody, backed into your car, and now, your car that you love so much has a big dent in it or something like that. So it's the energy of that is going on. Something that you care quite greatly about, something's happened to it here. Or, they want you to make, basically the long story short of how we deal with this is that they want you to turn around and look at all the good things that are still here. Even if this is like a person, for example, like let's say you really cared about this friendship or this person very much, and for whatever reason they've moved beyond it, moved away or whatever, just maybe they're not talking to you as much or whatever it is, just giving you an example of what this energy is. They want you to look at the good things. They want you to look at, for example, the good things that friendship brought you, the lessons you learned from it. All that kind of stuff, so that you're not focused on the bad. Because when you do that, you're going to get into victim mode. You're going to attract more of the bad stuff, get yourself in more of an emotional funk, and it's just not good. They're saying that there are rewards here. There's a lot of good things that came from whatever they're talking about that you took pride in. And intentions are a big part here with the Oracle Angel card. They're bringing in Archangel Michael, so the big one, and they're basically saying be clear about what you desire. So if you're very clear about what you want, it just kind of straightens everything else out, because there's no wavering. You're very, there's no convoluted, there's no air of mystery or fogginess. You just know what you want to do with things. So that way, if, for example, this is out of your control and it's environmental, like I said, somebody backed into your car or spilt your milk or whatever you're kind of looking down about and not feeling very much, this is very, by having a focus, you can only control what you can control. If it's out of your control, you're just wasting energy, putting more energy into it, trying to figure it out, or it's just an energetic suck is what it is. It's just not worth it. So be very clear about what you want, and that way you can just you can go through your own willpower here and just only try to worry about the things that affect you directly. Everything else, you got to leave it to God. That's really what that is there in story 2. All right, so let's move on. Story number 3, and then we're going to do some moon cycles. Story 4 is the big one. That's kind of why I'm also saving that one. Now, this is a pretty interesting mix here, because they're saying that you don't know everything here. For some of my Scorpios, the information that is not being provided to you yet, or you don't know exactly what this is, or maybe it's just a timing thing. Maybe this happens later. This could also be learning something new, like taking college courses or accreditation, stuff like that. It's coming in blocked, so it's saying not now, perhaps later, perhaps something to start considering right now. So there's a lot of good stuff here. So this is being pushed. I'm going to go back. I'm going to use very, very literal physical type things here. This is not so much about spirituality in this story. This is very earth plane stuff. So this is learning something new, or if you've considered learning something to expand perhaps your work corner, what you do for work, or going back to school or something like that, this presents itself very good. They're saying that this is not exactly necessarily the time to do it, but it's the time to start thinking about it. They really want to plant that seed, and they want you to start thinking about it. We have also Hello from Heaven here, so that's pushing the fact that there is somebody from the other side who is helping you here, who is really kind of helping you, direct you, that really wants you to kind of better yourself here, better your situation for your family and all these things. So we have a Hello from Heaven. And that's also your loved ones letting you know, checking in, on you, letting you know they're doing good. And if this is you here in story number 3, we have 2 very good fortuitous things. First of all, we have the Wheel of Fortune card, which is good luck. That's things that are out of your control, that are it just lines up really good for you. Let's say, example, you want to start want to learn about, ceramics. You want to do ceramics and pottery. Even though that March might not be the right time for it, maybe you pull the trigger on that in April or May or even the summer. Everything's going to line up really good here with good luck. It's just like when you're ready to go, that's when you see that a class is available, that same week or something like that. So that's good luck. That's out of your control, and it's just the universe aligning things for you. Very good to see. We also end with the Sun card. The Sun card is the greatest card in the entire tarot deck. It is that golden, wonderful energy, the pure innocence of a child, and just pure, it's just gold, wonderful, wonderful stuff. So they're letting me know that this is a path that is very, very good for a lot of you Scorpios. So whatever this is, I would encourage you not necessarily to take the action in March, but start doing this. Start thinking about what that is, what that could be, because your loved ones from heaven are popping in too, and also encouraging you. So we got more than just your spirit guides here and your team. That we have your loved ones also. So very good stuff there in story 3. Before we get into story 4, I do got to give you guys the moon cycle forecast. I like to do that every single month so you know what is coming and you know what to expect, all that kind of good stuff. Now we have the new moon coming in on March 2, March 2nd. That's when most people are checking out my videos. That's the best time to bring anything brand new into your life. It's a very strong manifestation energy. So that's bringing something new in. I'm looking down the course here, see if we talked about anything brand new. Not necessarily right now. So it's not specific to any certain thing. This is anything new you're trying to do. Let's say you need to buy a new car. Let's say you need to start something new in your health corner, maybe a new diet, a new exercise program, something like that. Anything brand new presents itself very, very good in the early phases of March. Not so much middle of the month. The middle of the month is when we get into the full moon energy, and that is on March 18th. That is when you want to get something out of your life that doesn't fit anymore. So that is something here with that emotional baggage here in story number 2, something that you just got to move past. That would be very good middle of the month. And also the, well, let's see, it was over here. No, that's not really purging. So I'm just going to leave that open for you guys, really. It's anything you need to get out of your life. For some of you, this could be like a bad habit. For others of you, this could be an actual person. We did talk about that in story 2, perhaps, or something that you've just kind of emotionally, a weight that you've put on yourself that you just need to let go. It's not yours to have. And, being very clear with your intentions also. So anything you need to get out of your life, even if it's selling something that's you've just been collecting dust, something you got to get rid of, or even just throwing out, any of that purging energy, very garbage truck energy, get rid of it. Middle of the month is a good target date to do that. Doesn't have to be on the 18th, anywhere around the middle. Now, if moon cycles are something you'd like a little clarity on, I did put together a moon cycle cheat sheet. It's absolutely free if you're part of the newsletter program. Now, if you're already part of the newsletter program, you're going to get this automatically. You don't have to sign up again. You're good to go. If you're not part of the newsletter group, well, sign up for it. It's free. It's at the very bottom of my website, scottsagent.com. You scroll to the bottom, enter a couple things, first name, email address, send it off. I send you back your moon cycle cheat sheet. It goes through June, so it's a few months here that it'll help you and show you a visual aid for how these moon cycles work and the way that you can use these energies to your benefit, because it's easier to walk downhill than uphill, and it's easier to swim with the current than against it. So that's really what the moon cycles are all about. So there is that. Now let's get into story 4. Story 4, Scorpio. Here we start with the Devil card. So this is bondage, being tied into something, tied into a situation, circumstance, even a bad habit. Usually it's something that you don't want to be tied into. Okay, so there's theft and loss here. They really want you to slow this down. Some of you are going 100 miles an hour here. They really need you to slow it down a little bit. Take your time. You're worrying about things perhaps that are out of your control to a certain extent. We do have, and when theft and loss comes up, there's a lot of different things that can be. It could be like deceitful people. It could be actually getting something stolen from you. So it's a good time to remind you to, keep your doors locked in your car, in your house, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully this can be avoided altogether. Also loss, if you lose something, sometimes you might just be forgetful or clumsy, leave the purse on top of the car and then drive off or something like that. Well, it's not like somebody necessarily stole it from you, but you don't have it. So the energy is identical. So that's what they're talking about there. So just kind of try to be aware of things that are going on in March. And we do have that devil energy of the binding between certain things here. They didn't get too specific with this. For a lot of you, this can be work related. They are kind of giving me a little bit of a clue there. They're saying that your work corner needs a little bit of attention here, and that binding, whatever is really kind of like tying you down or handcuffing you to it, it might not even be work. It might be family related, could be health related, or even financial. Whatever this burden is that you just don't like, this is something that you do not like. You don't want to deal with, but you got to deal with it, right? So they're letting you know, first of all, to slow down. Going fast isn't going to fix anything. It's not going to make it any better. Take your time and nurture your work corner. It's basically a good time to work on making money or expanding your business, enterprise, things that you're trying to learn. That goes into story 3 a little bit there when we talked about learning new things. That's what they talk about here in story 4. So you can see how these stories kind of meld together a little bit. And that's why general readings can actually be accurate, because Scorpios on different frequencies, on different paths, have a lot of similarities. Now, they do show that they want you to get interested in something about work here. There's something that you just either are discontent about, or you're not feeling right now, or it's just not working out the way you expected it to, perhaps. They really want you to find motivation here. Get interested in something with work. It doesn't matter what it is. They do bring up teaching and learning, so for a lot of you, you're just natural teachers, and you could do very well in that category. Share your knowledge with other people too. If there's something you know how to do very good, for example, like if you're like a massage therapist, that could be something that you teach and train other people to do, maybe on the side. Whatever it is that you do, very, very strong in the area of expansion for your work corner right here. And also learning, because teaching goes both ways. You can be the teacher, you can be the student. We talked about that in story 3. So learning new things from other people that know more than you, basically being that sponge and absorbing all that good stuff. So get inspired, find something to get motivated about here, and nurture that work corner, because that is the focus there in story 4. It's probably going to be most of my Scorpios there. So very interesting stuff. They were very specific with you guys here in the storyline spread. That is why I like the spreads. Now, I did use a lot of cards, so I do need to cut away to reshuffle, because I like to be thorough and give them the opportunity to use some of these cards, again, if they see fit, if that better describes what's going on with the chakras, because the chakra, like I said, is a big deal this month. A lot of signs got it. So I'm going to cut away to shuffle momentarily. I will be right back. Okay, Scorpio, I'm back with your chakra scrub. The cards have been reshuffled. I'm doing the ritual cuts now. Cuts them into 3 pieces, put them back together in a different order, ready to go. Now I do this top to bottom. I might talk about it in a different order, but at least when I pull the cards, it's top to bottom. So here we go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Big one here. That's the biggest of the group. All right, let's talk about it. I'm going to go bottom to top here as far as I'm reading, so we're going to actually read 7 first. In a chakra scrub, spiritual health, your root chakra here is showing a little bit bound up. This is your arms, your legs, in the physical representation of the form. Arms being bound up the most here. So they're letting you know that there is mobility here, even though you feel like there may not be. So there's not really a lot that I can really discuss, is that except the fact that your root chakra is not as perhaps constrained as you think it is. Root chakra is also your connection between spiritual world and physical world. So that might be something that could be improved, but I'm not worried about it either right now. As we move up, number 2 here, or number 6 from the bottom, this is your orange, this is your emotional center. They're saying that you're not really clear on where you're being pulled emotionally right now, and you're trying to be logical about it. And it's really kind of, there's certain things that are emotionally bothering you that are kind of eating at your head here. And it's coming up under emotions, under the orange, because that you're feeling this very deeply, even though you're trying to, like I said, be logical about it. It's just a very hard thing for you to battle right here. So I don't really think that there's anything that we can do about it except for the fact that in this card that Spirit is describing this with, whatever it is that you're worried about here and that is having an emotional pull on you, they're letting you know it's going to be okay either way. That's actually what this card means. And they don't want you to get stuck on the dark side of being blindfolded and feeling like, you just don't know what to do and all this kind of stuff, because sometimes this is illusionary. You're worrying about stuff that's not even real. And if that's the case, well, don't pay it that energy. Moving on up here. So number 3, willpower. Being a little left out in the cold here. It's going to be perhaps a challenging month for some of my Scorpios to get motivated, but it's also very important too, because we did talk about some good things going on with work. If you nurture your work corner there, and if you get interested in something, get motivated, it's going to be hard for you to do that. It's almost like you got to will yourself through this very strongly. Your yellow here, your solar plexus is, having issues with that. It's kind of a little dry right now, probably the best way to describe it. So that's something you could work on too in a guided meditation or a personal meditation, something like that, or just your daily your daily routines. You could also wear the color yellow there. That also helps. As above, so below. Anything with yellow would be very strong and empowering for you to try to get things done in the month of March, Scorpio. As we move up to heart, heart shows growth. I like the way it shows. It does not much to talk about. Very good. Moving on up to throat. Taking great authority here, taking charge. So we have Scorpios voicing their opinions. Scorpios are very good at doing so. Not a surprise there. Continue to do so also. You don't want to get to a point where you're just bottling up and not letting things out. They do show you've done a good job of it. So again, I'm not worried about it. When we get into third eye, this is where they show bad decision. This is kind of the main area I'm worried about for you guys here. The third eye needs some new ideas. It needs some new spark. It needs some kind of resuscitation. It could be just, you haven't done anything with it. You haven't meditated in forever. Maybe you just don't think you're good at it, or you haven't had any luck, or you can't quiet your mind, or anything like that. The third eye is very, very strong, and it wants attention here, okay, to the point where Spirit gave me this spread for you guys to address this specifically, because this is really the only thing that pulled an angel card. So this is obviously the focus of your chakra scrub. They want you to come up with a new idea, whatever it is that you can do here to exercise your third eye. And that's divine inspiration too, and the dream state and all that stuff. They really want you to come up with a new idea, and not just come up with the new idea, but bring it to fruition. Follow through with it. If you decide you're I'm going to meditate once a week, follow through with it. Make sure you do. Even if you don't have success right away, keep going at it. Whatever it is you're doing spiritually here with your third eye. Also, no weird stuff in the bad idea area. I just have to tell you, if you're doing any kind of weird, funky, ritual type stuff, or just anything that I would consider dark, don't do it. There's nothing good there. Moving on up to the crown, lack of authority in the love corner is what they show. So this is very moon cycle related here. In your love corner, which is large, family, close friends, anybody close to your heart coming in here in your crown chakra. And your crown is your connection to the cosmos, space radiation, the lunar, like we talked about, the moon cycles, and also solar. So this is something where you could just... I want to say expand, but I would just kind of revert back to the moon cycles here. Just, the moon cycle is the pure epitome of space energy, and following that can be a big deal. So I'm just going to kind of relate that to an extra little push to follow the moon cycles. So again, make sure you get that moon cycle cheat sheet to help you do this, and that's going to help open up your crown chakra too, because that's your connection to the top. So there we go. Good stuff all around. Some good advice for my Scorpios this month. I hope that you use it positively and in ways that can benefit yourself and those around you quite a bit. So that's going to do it for the reading here. Thank you so much for joining. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future videos. I do these every single month. And I also do love readings on the 7th and a mid-month update right in the middle of the month, a little update on all this. So make sure you like the page and are subscribed so you get access to all of that good stuff. I will see you soon. Have a great March, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.